I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Are we clear? Well, well. And you seem to be in one piece. Thank you. I'll look these over and inform Mirabelle if I find anything relevant. Night of Tears, eh? I remember this one. Well, isn't that interesting? Did you read it yourself? If I recall it correctly, that has some interesting implications. You should mention that to Toldir. And here. I suppose you've earned these.
Hmm?
Good to see you.
Please don't bother the Archmage unless it's absolutely necessary. Well, you're certainly making a name for yourself. Yes, we can talk. Well, now that's an odd question. I'm not sure why, but there was something very personal about it. It made me uneasy. I'm not sure. I can appreciate that this pleasure, it's very impressive. Well, that depends on what you're looking for. I see. Mine is not a popular position, but it's my job to keep things running smoothly. I'm dealing with a few new research proposals, evaluating the results of 3 long-term projects, and keeping an eye on our new apprentices. I might be difficult to get along with. Very well. I suppose if you're intent on me, we'll continue the research then. Well, there's a great deal I can teach you about magic. And perhaps there's a great deal you can teach to me. That way we all benefit. I think study sessions would do you the most good now. If there are any problems, let me know. It's my job to keep things running smoothly. I don't know how long we can keep this up. Well, that depends on what you're looking for. Feralda can teach destruction spells, and offers training in that school. Finis is one of the best conjurers in all of Skyrim, and can help with spells from that school. Don't let Tolfdir fool you. He's the preeminent scholar on alteration, one of the best in Tamriel, and always willing to pass on his knowledge. If you can find him and focus his attention, there's a great deal Drevis can teach you about illusion magic. And finally, there's Colette. She may be difficult to get along with. She's very knowledgeable when it comes to restoration magic.
Even with the college's laid-back attitude, there are still some things that are off limits.
Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people. You give an old man hope. Did he now? Does he have information about our wonderful discovery? Is that the one about something buried beneath Sarthal? Something that men and Mare fought over? I'll have to make a point of rereading it. I don't recall the details. I just can't seem to tear myself away. Whatever this is, its beauty is like nothing I've ever seen before. If you'd allow me to indulge myself for a moment, I thought I might make a few observations. I'm sure you've already noticed the markings. They're quite unlike anything we've seen before. Aliad, Dwemer, Daedric, not even Falmer. None of them are a match. Quite curious indeed. Now, I'm not sure that you're quite as attuned as I am, given my extensive years of experience, but can you feel that? This marvelous object, it practically radiates magicka, and yet it's unlike anything I've felt before. Archmage Aaron is already hard at work, and hopefully we'll have more information soon.
I'm afraid I must
No,
intrude. It is urgent that I speak with your associate immediately.
This is most inappropriate. We're involved in serious research here.
Yes, I've no doubt of its gravity. This, however, is a matter that cannot wait.
Well, I'm quite sure I've never been interrupted like this before. The audacity. I suppose we'll continue this at some later time, when we can avoid interruptions.
I need you to come with me immediately. Let's go. Really? Well, allow me to clarify the situation. I'd like to know why there's someone claiming to be from the Psijic Order here in the college. More importantly, I'd like to know why he's asking for you, specifically. So we're going to go have a little chat with him and find out exactly what it is he wants. I'll be the one asking the questions. All you need to know is that the Psijic Order is a rogue organization, believing themselves to be above the law. They have clashed with the Aldmeri Dominion before, and I have no intention of allowing that to happen here. Now, you are going to speak to this monk and find out why he is here, and then he will be removed from college grounds.
Please do not be alarmed. I mean you no harm. It is good to meet you in person. It is good to meet you in person. I'd simply like to talk to you. I've given us a chance to speak privately, but I'm afraid I can't do this for long. We must be brief. The situation here at your college is of dire importance, and attempts to contact you, as we have previously, have failed. I believe it is due to the very source of our concern. This object, the Eye of Magnus, as your people have taken to calling it. The energy coming from it has prevented us from reaching you with the visions you have already seen. The longer it remains here, the more dangerous the situation becomes. And so I have come here personally to tell you it must be dealt with. You set this chain of events in motion at Sarthal. You must understand the Psijic Order does not typically intervene directly in events. My presence here will be seen as an affront to some within the Order. As soon as we have finished, I will be leaving your college. I'm all too aware that my arrival has aroused suspicion, especially in Onkano, your Thalmor associate. Nevertheless, my Order will not act directly. You must take it upon yourself to do so. As you may have learned, this object, the Eye, is immensely powerful. The world is not ready for it. If it remains here, it will be misused. Indeed, many in the Order believe it has already. Rather, something will happen soon, something that cannot be avoided. We believe that your efforts should be directed towards dealing with the aftermath, but we cannot predict what that will be. I fear I have already overstepped the bounds of my Order, but I will offer this. Seek out the Augur of Dunlane here in your college. His perception may be more coherent than ours. He was once a student here at the college. Now he is something different. I am unsure. He is somewhere within the college. Surely one of your colleagues must know his location. I am sorry I cannot provide you with further help, but this conversation requires a great deal of effort on my part. Now, I'm afraid I must leave you. We will continue to watch over you and guide you as best we can. It is within you to succeed. Never forget that.
I'm sorry.
You must excuse
Were
me.
you about to
I
say
shouldn't
something?
be
What
here.
is the meaning of this?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't understand.
Don't play coy. You asked to see a specific member of the college. Here he is. Now what is it that you want?
There's been a misunderstanding. Clearly, I should not be here. I shall simply take my leave.
What? What trickery is this? You're not going anywhere until I find out what you're up to.
I am not up to anything. I apologize if I have offended you in any way.
We will see about this.
You must excuse me. I shouldn't be here. You must excuse me. I shouldn't be here.
I'm not sure what just happened, but I assure you I will get to the bottom of it. Whatever it is those Psijics are up to, they cannot be trusted. For all we know, he's here to scout out the college. I'm sure they want to undermine our efforts. This orb, the Eye of Magnus, whatever you want to call it, it's clearly powerful, and no doubt they want it for themselves. I expect to be informed if they make any future attempts to contact you. The what? No, I'm quite sure I have no idea what you're talking about. I suggest you mind your own business and return to whatever it is you do here.
I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Are we clear? Assorted books, scrolls. I'm sure you'll find something useful.
Why are my research materials constantly disappearing? The augur? Tragic story, really. At least the way I heard it. But that was a long time ago. It was some experiment gone horribly wrong. Ghastly results, I was told. And his ghost still roams the halls, they say. Of course, on further reflection, that may have simply been an attempt to scare me. Perhaps I'll ask Tolfdir what really happened. I understand he was here at the time. Until next time.
Good to see you. Well now, there's a name I haven't heard in some time. My goodness, it's been years since I've spoken with him. I suppose he's still down in the Midden, but I haven't checked. Are you going to see him? Do tell him hello for me, won't you? Underneath the college. It's not the nicest place, so if you go down there, please do be careful. Well, I suppose he wouldn't mind. It was all before my time, you understand. I've heard the stories, the same as anyone else. He was a brilliant student, an accomplished wizard, delved into magic in a way none had seen before. But I think he became too focused on just how much power he could acquire. That's what led to the accident. Do you remember what I first told you? About how not being able to control magic could destroy you? I didn't simply mean it could kill you. The Augur's accident is another very real type of a life destroyed. Well, it's been described as an accident. I can't imagine it was intentional. Something must have gone wrong, and he ended up in the state he's in now, fused to the energies that flow through the college. I've never felt it appropriate to ask him about it, about how that must feel. Or I suppose, if he can feel at all. I'm afraid so. There's a problem with one of the Jarls here in Skyrim. He's been complaining of a member of the college running amok in his hold. We have, of course, severed all ties with the mage in question, but the Jarl isn't appeased. So the mage needs to be taken care of, if you understand me. I would hate to see our reputation further tarnished. Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people. You give an old man hope. The key to wards is that they take time to charge. Not long, but you can't start casting with a fireball coming at you. Also, if your ward isn't negated by an incoming spell, it will recharge itself after a moment or two. Just be careful. Casting wards requires constant concentration, and you can easily find yourself drained of your magica reserves. I can certainly share a bit of what I know. Well, yes. This is rather embarrassing, but it seems I've misplaced something. I seem to have misplaced the book I was reading. If you happen to see it, would you mind bringing it to me? Mm-hmm. It's always encouraging to see the younger generations embracing education. The college will be here for you no matter what. We always look at a book of mine. I was at least halfway through and wanted to finish it, but apparently I put it down somewhere. All right then. Education is never appreciated until after the... have you, by chance, seen my research notes? I seem to have misplaced them. All right, then.
If you have a moment, could you help me with something? So far, if only because no one is telling me how great I ought to be, I just want to learn. I don't want to think about what's expected of me. We're all trying to become better mages, right? Well, I need someone I can practice a few spells on. Nothing dangerous, really. Would you be willing to assist me? Well, I simply thought you might wish to help out one of your fellow mages. If that's not enough, I suppose, I have this amulet you could take. Oh, good. I was afraid I'd have to go ask J'zargo. Now, you just stand there. Please hold still, and don't move. There! Now Oh dear. That wasn't supposed to happen. Do you feel all right? You look very, green. I am so very sorry. I went over this again and again, and I was sure it would have better results. I'm not really sure. I think it's just a minor miscalculation on my part. I'm sure it will wear off soon. When it does, you'll be perfectly fine, and then we can try again. In the meantime, I'll see about figuring out what went wrong. Didn't you know? Before the Oblivion Crisis, many elves called Winterhold their home. More visited the college from Morrowind every year. After, growing distrust of magic made life difficult for many. Some left rather than endure the growing hatred from the local Nords. Others returned home after the Red Year, when Vardenfell erupted and caused much destruction. Winterhold itself died in the years between then and now. What's left out there is a husk. Only the college really remains. I'd better get going.
I have many important things on my mind. Are you quite sure we need to be speaking?
I still need some help, if you can spare the time. Until next time.
Looks like they brought something back from Sarthal. A giant egg filled with dwarves. Or taffy. I can't decide which.
I still need some help, if you can spare the time. Exactly as I said it would. Now, are you ready to try again? I am confident it will work this time. This will be worth it. Okay, now don't move at all. Oh my. That isn't right. Just wait. I can fix this. Oh no, that's not it at all. Let me try again. This really isn't turning out the way I'd hoped. I'll get it right this time, I swear. There! All better. Well, it all worked out in the end, didn't it? Agreed. And thank you for your help. You're a good friend. I'll never forget you. Is it true? One of the Sijiks was here in the college? Lead the way. Is it true? One of the Sijiks was here in the college? Let me know if you need anything. Thank you. I'll be sure to put it to good use. Lead on. Is it true? One of the Sijiks was here in the college? I suppose I can help. Let's get going then.